Both devs catered to the modern audience, and it cost them everything. Yeah, the game already came out and it flopped hard. It has conquered and cordial success. Let's take a look.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So I want to start this video with a very simple question for you, the viewer. If you're looking for a game in a medieval setting, which way do you want to go? Do you want to go on the left with Knight's Path, a game that is promised to not inject any sort of modern agenda into the game, and they're all...
Yes, because she's super attractive. She's attractive, she is cute. And it's medieval? Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, who would not go and fight a dragon for her? I would. Definitely.
Also presenting characters that have appealing designs? Or do you go to the right with 1348X Voto, where they have a bowl haircutted lesbian knights as the main protagonist of the game, with a development team that promises to bring in a modern agenda? Which way do you go? Well, the answer seems pretty obvious right now, because the demo for 1348X Voto is absolutely crashing and burning, barely getting over 100 players despite countless articles and puff pieces singing the praises of this game, and also...
Of course, the journalists, the games journalists, they love this. Of course they love this. Well, they pretend to love this because it's their agenda to, you know, like things like that. So they have to pretend to do so. Of course.
Countless viral tweets saying that this game is the next big thing. It's cutting edge. Everyone's going to love it, and it's going to own the chuds. Another game that's just going to own the chuds, ladies and gentlemen. But as you can see, this game focuses on the main protagonist, Aita, who is a young knight, a lesbian knight on a journey to...
Number one, a woman as a knight in a historical setting? Yeah, no. Number two, a lesbian. Yeah, because Christians loved homosexuals so much back then, right? Yeah.
Rescue her love interests. Now, this game also had its developers come out and say, don't forget to wishlist and note the release on your modern agenda, which is a direct shot at Knight's Path, a very similar game in terms of its ground concepts. And let's see how that's working out for them, because they're trying to appeal to who else but the modern audience.
Of course.
And it's working, in a sense. They have over 100,000.
100,000 wish lists, okay. But how many players will they have? That's the interesting part.
And wish lists on Steam, a very impressive number, quite frankly. But does that translate into actual interest? Is it all just performative? Yes, well, when your goal is to impress the modern audience with the modern agenda, they don't show up. They never do, ladies and gentlemen.
Because they don't exist. They want to create them. That's the thing.
This is the current status of the demo.
That's not good.
On day 2, it's sitting at 40.
If you have 100,000 wishlists and only 49 people play the demo at the same time, that's a bad sign. That's absolutely a bad sign. Not only for your game, but for your company. This is bad. This is really bad.
49 in-game players. Now, of course...
Reminds me of Relooted. Remember Relooted? This awesome game where you were bringing back the African artifacts from European museums. Yep. Same player numbers.
Again, it's a demo, but for over 100,000 wish lists, this is abysmal.
Yes.
Nobody even wants to try this.
It's less than 1% of the people that wishlisted the game played. Less than 1%. It's not even 0.5%. Less than 0.5%. That's less than 0.25% of the player base. Of the potential player base. Playing the demo. You would think if a game that you wishlisted comes out with a demo that we would try it, right? Obviously, no one here did. So my question would be, who are the people who wishlisted this game? Conspiracy theory. Bot accounts. Bot accounts. How much you wanna bet that the 100,000 wishlisted? Jesus Christ, language. The 100,000 number of people wishlisting this game, they are mostly bots. And with mostly, I mean basically all of them. Literally, basically, yeah, all of them.
Okay, despite all of the puff pieces from the media, despite all of the viral tweets saying this is the greatest game ever, we've been asking for something like...
Wait, really? Who is saying this is the greatest game ever? Who would even say that? You have to be absolutely stupid to say something like that.
This for so long. It didn't pan out. The modern audience didn't show up again. And as you can see from the actual chart, it peaked out a few hours ago at 122 players. That...
Yes, that's... Wow. Wow. That's not a lot of people. It did better than Reloaded.
Is the best the modern audience could shell out for this. It turns out a lot of people are not exactly thrilled about the concept of a bowl haircutted lesbian knights. Okay, it didn't turn out to be as appealing to the main demographic of people that they thought it would. Now, of course,
let's make this game good. Make that character hot. Okay, we are done. Okay, that's all that you need to do. If you want to make it even better, don't make it a medieval historical setting. Make it a fantasy setting or a sci-fi setting. Imagine a really hot character that you can customize the looks by. And you can customize the looks of her girlfriend, wife, or whatever. And then your wife gets kidnapped. And then you go out and free her. I can totally see that concept working. It's just they made the wrong decisions. All the wrong decisions. Absolutely all the wrong decisions.
As I always say, there is an audience for this. There are people who are looking forward to this game. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's their thing, that's their preference. But I'm just saying, don't sit here and act like this is going to appeal to a wider audience. A lot of people are looking at this and they're just scratching their heads as to why anyone thought this would appeal to some sort of a greater audience when it's niche. And also the developers have an attitude, not just about detractors, but competitors.
Detractors?
Like, for example, Knight's Path. Like, they have a serious bone to pick with them, and I think that shows through again in a recent interview with some of the cast behind 1348X Voto.
Oh no, are the voice actors speaking out? The voice actors should all shut up. No one cares about what they have to say. the moment voice actors open their mouth and talk about anything, I think the only thing that's doing is making the product they're in look unappealing.
Where they talked about several things, including the bowl haircut. In fact, these individuals think not only is the bowl haircut historically
That's a lesbian. Yeah.
accurate, they think it's very hot.
This fair damsel to rise.
Oh! Gah! That's not fair.
The world isn't fair.
What I will say about Ice's bowl cut is I think it's quite hot and historically accurate. Historically accurate.
How
So
do you
back
know that?
off, haters. Haters of the bowl cut.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments section, let me know your thoughts on this design. Do you agree
No.
with their assessment of this bowl
Of course
haircut
not.
on
No one
this
does.
female knight? Is it really tickling your fancy? Do you really enjoy this? Is this
No.
what you've been waiting for?
No.
Let me
no one
know.
does.
But yeah, there was another part of this that was very interesting. They made a comment about her bowl haircut being historically accurate. And that to me is very important.
Oh, and here we come with actual historians coming out and saying, no. I bet. I bet.
Why? Because they are trying to take another shot at Knight's Path. That is my genuine belief, because a lot of people are attacking Knight's Path for not
Why?
being historically accurate. And a lot of the people who are saying that are fans of 1348X Voto, which is very funny given the concept of the game. But of course, all of this just serves.
And the player numbers. I mean, there aren't any players, so it can't be a lot of people attacking that game.
As more promotion for Knight's Path. This game is giving the general audience what they want and saying and doing what people actually generally want.
Yes?
For example, one of the female characters you can form a romantic relationship with in the game
Nice.
looks like this.
Nice.
And of course,
Very nice.
a lot of people are happy to see an appealing design like this. But of course,
Fantastic.
the detractors and a lot of the people who are fans of 1348X Voto, they look at this and they call it gooner bait. Or they say
Well, yeah, because they have nothing else to say. They literally don't. I mean, they are the gooners themselves. So, of course, the only thing they have to say is, oh, this is gooner bait. Because they would. They would goon. That's the only thing they do.
it's historically inaccurate because she has some eyeshadow, right? They're freaking out over that.
So?
But they're very excited to go play 1348X Voto with the lesbian knight. It's a very interesting dichotomy there. And also, the developers of Knight's Path got a lot of goodwill while also annoying the worst people by saying basically they don't care about modern agendas
Which is
in
good.
their game. And that won over a lot of people. And compare that, of course, to what was said by the developers of 1348X Voto. And it worked for Knight's Path. They have 200.
They have double the amounts of wish lists. Now, if they have a demo, or if the game comes out and they have actual player numbers that, are decently high enough, then we, I think, can for sure tell that the other game, the wish lists, bots.
1,000 wish lists. And I will be very interested to see how those numbers actually pan out. But there's this amazing dichotomy right here, right? You see the difference. One side not caring about a modern agenda, the other side caring about a modern agenda in both games.
Yes, and we will have one game that succeeds, and one game that already shows that it don't. And by the way, the game already came out. This video is three weeks old. And we will take a look at the follow-up video he did after the trash came out.
At their ground level, have a similar theme. It plays out very differently, but it is a medieval setting that is supposed to be the foundation, but they're going very different routes, not just with the sort of storyline, but also with the attitude of the developers and their social media team. Now, one of the big things, of course, the biggest selling point, at least according to games journalists when it comes to 1348X Voto.
What the hell is a Zephic love story? What does that word mean? I have no idea. Why is that word even there? So the writer, then, can feel superior to the people that read this shit. That's the only reason this word is in there.
Is that, well, it has a queer love story, and that's what they got right now. That's what they got. Okay, they're really hammering it home because somehow that makes the game good. The bar is so low for people like this. It's actually unbelievable. But as you can see, again, in that same interview we just saw from about a week ago, they directly talked about this.
I really passionately want to tell LGBTQ plus stories.
Yeah. If I would make a game and I would look for voice actors, I would not hire them. I would not. Just because of what they're saying here. And I'm serious, I wouldn't.
She's slightly genderqueer in that, like, people mistake her for being a boy and a man, and she's like, yeah, great.
It's not a coming out story, it's not your usual fare. I've not seen that very often in games, or in just in media in general.
So people think this is a guy. What does that mean for a girl? If everyone thinks that a girl is a guy, that means she's ugly. They're literally saying she's ugly. Oh, this is great. I love this. They don't even know what they are saying themselves.
I do think everyone would love it.
Well, boy howdy, was it not clear? They're going with the modern agenda. Okay, they're making it very clear, abundantly clear to everyone that is a very big focus of this game. And when that is the big focus and selling point of your game, that sounds like trouble. That sounds like the rest of the story, the rest of the game, the rest of the product isn't that interesting. If that has to be one of the main selling points worth talking about, and they're trying to tell this story, and they're trying to score brownie points, and you know what? You get the seal claps on social media. Of course, right? That's what you get when you come out and try to promote anything that has to do with identity politics or anything.
Because the people that are for identity politics are the people that are online all the time, because they don't have an actual life. People with an actual life, they are out there, they are working. They are raising children and all that stuff. Those people don't, because they are incapable of having an actual life.
Related to it, that's the route they're going, and they're making it very clear. And as we've seen with the demo, it's not panning out, and it's not too surprising. The modern audience, these activists, these games journalists, all of them, it's so shallow. Their support is so shallow and meaningless at the end of the day, because they say all these things, they support all these tweets, but when it comes to brass tacks, they don't show up. You can see, for example, this interview getting
they never do
9,000.
Always remember, everyone that's on social media and propagating all these modern audience, modern agenda things, these aren't the people that buy products, because They are terminally online. They don't have any money. A lot of these people don't even have jobs. If you tweet out several times per hour, you can't have a job unless you're working for the government, or for a big tech company, but that's also shutting down. So yeah, these people don't have money. They don't care. They might not even believe what they are saying themselves. They might only say these things to look good in the eyes of their peers. Always keep that in mind.
In likes, which, you know, typically like a longer form video, even if it's just 3 minutes, you're not likely to get a ton of interaction, a ton of likes. So that's a pretty impressive number.
Yes.
Now let me show you this.
But these people are.
This is the wish list promotion. This is the link provided underneath that interview. It has 200 likes.
Yes.
9,000 versus 200. So the people actually going and...
Less than 5% of people that liked the interview liked the wishlist thingy. And that's all we need to know. The modern audience. This is the modern audience. They are saying, oh yeah, this is great. But they don't have any money. They don't actually want to support it. That's what's going on.
Interacting with this, even if that just means signing up for a wish list. Like, you know, you're not even like buying the game, right? That difference is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And you know what? Guys, I'll be honest with you. The writing was on the wall for this game. As soon as the story trailer came out about 4 weeks ago on...
Oh no. Oh yeah, right. We have seen wishlist on Steam, so it's not a PS5 exclusive, but this is not good. Oh, the like to dislike ratio. Oh, that's bad.
The official PlayStation account, you knew things were cooked. I mean, ending with eyeballs and looking at this objectively, you see number one, the official PlayStation account with nearly 17 million subscribers, polling 125,000 views in 4 weeks promoting this game.
Oh, that's not good.
The like to dislike ratio, as expected with anything promoting the modern agenda, 3,600 likes versus 14,000 dislikes. Not good. The comment section, abysmal. Okay, let's read some of them. Let's end this on a...
The first one is already good. I'm surprised they leave the comment section open. I will give them that. Yeah. Games like that always have that closed.
A light note. Let's read some of the comments. I am surprised they leave the comment section open. I will give them that. Okay, you know what? Yeah, hats off. Because most of these companies nowadays, when they have a game that's getting disliked heavily, they turn off the comments. So good for them, I guess. Or maybe they just kind of forgot to turn it off. But anyways, next one says, it's fascinating how they avoided showing the characters talking. The mouth animation must be terrifying. Can't wait to...
That's actually a good point. That's actually a good point with the facial and mouth animation. That's a really good point. Because we had Valve solved that problem in the 2000s. They developed a technology for Half-Life 2 where the lips would sync up with the spoken word automatically. No motion cap, nothing like that. No extra animation, no. Would all be done in engine.
Play Knight's Path. Isn't that amazing, ladies and gentlemen? 1348X Voto is literally the best promotion for Knight's Path. I've never seen two games, again, at their foundation, similar themes at their foundation, coming out at similar times and just going completely different paths. Modern agenda on one side, rejection of modern agenda on the other, and one is working and one is not. Another
Like
comment
always.
says they never leer. We got to send them to the leering center. Maybe they'll learn a thing or two. I
that's...
paused the video to look right into the comments. I am not disappointed. Missed opportunity not to name the MC Sir Lesbian.
Let's be a lot.
Okay, guys. Okay.
That one is good.
Modern audiences will surely show up this time. Trust. I feel like there is a room full of completely out of touch boomers, and they're also in the room. There is a group of like young, your typical like Twitter user type age activist, and they're convincing these people. Yeah, this one right here. Look at all the likes we're getting on Twitter.
Yeah.
Can you even comprehend how many sales we're gonna get? And they believe it because they have no idea what's going on.
Yes. The usual.
Knight's Path in my wish list. Oh goodness, it just keeps going. It's so refreshing to see devs and investors no longer caring if their game makes money. You know what? I kind of care. This industry is collapsing, man. It's because people just there's no.
This will end up for free on PSN Pride Month. Yeah, I can see that.
Good products out there. It's so terrible. This will end up for free on PSN Pride Month. Oh goodness. I'm a non-binary. Well, that's very brave of you to come out and share your identity.
Yeah, that's great.
With us. Man. I predict Dragon Age the Veilguard levels of quote-unquote success for this game.
Yeah.
You know, I love being told over and over again games like that were a massive hit. Own the chuds, and then find out a few months later what everyone was saying who looked at those sorts of games objectively were right, because the studios are shutting down and the related publishers are reporting massive losses. It's just a cycle that...
Yeah, that's all the time. When a game developer says, oh yeah, we are going to show to the shots, you know the game is going to be bad. Same goes for movies, TV shows, everything like that. The moment they say something like that, you know they are done.
It will seemingly never end until people start to learn. But yeah, that's the situation with 1348X Voto. This is an absolute disaster. This demo, not looking good. A demo is never 100% proof a game will succeed or not, but it does give you an idea of how much genuine interest there is in this game, and so far, it's not looking good.
Yep. And now, we are taking a look at the new video, which must be, it's here. It's right here. Vogue Death Panda to the modern audience. Here we go, chat.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're here. So it's March 12th, which of course means the official release of 1348X Voto, a release date I'm sure most of you had written down in your calendars because you were so excited to see this indie game finally be released. Now, if you know the full story behind this game and its development team and the reception on social media, you know this game has modern audience written all over it.
Yes.
It begins with the plot summary. Basically, this takes place in a medieval setting where the main protagonist is a lesbian knight out there with the goal of saving her female lover. It checks all the progressive boxes. It also has a social media team that is doing what a lot of indie social...
Interesting. The reviews all time are mixed. Oh, they only have 54 reviews. 100,000 wishlists. 54 reviews. And they are mixed.
Social media teams do these days, and that is anger everybody by openly admitting they want to pander to a modern agenda. They also had a bunch of activists on social media and games journalists propping up this game and even making the claims that it was going to prove all of the chuds, all of the haters wrong when it was officially released.
Yes, you do.
Well, did they prove anyone wrong? Absolutely not. This game instantly flopped and fell on its face, with only a couple hundred people actually showing up for the official release. And if you look at the Metacritic score as well, it is abysmal. Not
literally just 407 people. That's worse than Concord. Now, the game absolutely did not cost $400 million. But still, player number-wise, worse than Concord. When I remember correct? Yes, I remember correct. Worse than Concord. This is High God's level of success. The only good thing this game has going for it is that it's not a live service free-to-play multiplayer game. It's just a single-player game you have to pay for. So they made roughly, I don't know, 10K? That's 50K, maybe $50,000 to $100,000. That's what they made. Great investment.
even games journalists are going to pretend to like this anymore. This was a game that pandered to the modern audience, and that's exactly what it got. The modern audience. The people who don't actually support anything they pretend to care about on social media. Now, this game, from its inception, has been an absolute disaster, and a lot of this sort of controversy surrounding this game is thanks to their official account on Twitter that has said some really dumb things. Okay, despite reaching 100,000 count of their wish list, according to them, because you can't see these sorts of data points on Steam, there's really no...
Here's my question, why not? And if only... Wait, so there is... You can't tell how many wish lists they have. Only Steam and the developers can see it. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. So they could have just made this number up. I'm not surprised at all.
Basis for this number, because there is only a few thousand people actually following the Steam account in the first place. So this 100,000 wishlist number is already very suspect, and people were seeing this as a massive win for their team. And this was a sign that the official release was going to prove everyone wrong. Well, the writing was on the wall all along. The story trailer that was released about a month ago had a sterling 3,900 likes versus 19,000 dislikes. And the only thing journalists could say about this game, the only praise they could give it, was the fact that it had LGBT themes to it. In fact, here is an article from the game.
Guys, if you're interested in it, give me a second. How do I do that without fucking things up? This is how I do it. Okay. Chat. Look at this. Look at this. Does this look like success to you? Maximum. Oh, Jesus. People really hate this thing. Okay, you can argue that people that like the game are asleep. But still, the 24-hour peak is still below the all-time peak. It's almost half, down to half. Within 24 hours, the player base went down by almost 50%. That's not good. It's actually really bad. It's really, really bad. The modern audience, by the way. 427 people. You're welcome, chat.
We're saying 1348X Voto's Lesbian Night is the shakeup the medieval genre needs. Is it now? Will that
Written by Stacey Henley. Oh, published January 23, 2026. Oh, so before the game came out. I wonder what she's saying now.
Actually transcend over into people playing the game? Well, as you already know, the answer is absolutely not. But also in the final days of their promotion for this game, some of the people behind the game and the voices of the characters came out.
Let me say, they're now saying the opposite of what they said before.
And the only thing they could really say about the game is how amazing it is that there is a lesbian main protagonist, and the fact that apparently bowl haircuts are actually really, really attractive, and anyone who dislikes a bowl haircut on a woman is crazy. Well, the demo comes out, free to play of course, and it only peaked at 167 players. Now, any sane human...
Well, to be absolutely fair here, more people bought the game, but not a lot more.
being saw this and immediately thought, wow, this is a disaster. But people were still coping on social media saying, it's just a demo, that doesn't mean anything. Well, looking at the team on social media, they've done
There are demos for smaller games that have way more players than that. It's not even hard. What are you talking about?
everything in their power to make sure this game failed. Back in January, when asked the question, why do devs keep making intentionally unattractive female characters, the official account for 1348X Voto said, why do you expect a woman to necessarily be attractive?
Because that's what customers and people want to see. Everyone wants to see attractive people. Everyone wants to see attractive people. No matter how ugly you are, you want to see attractive people.
Wow, so they're going with the modern audience approach, which represents a minute fraction of potential customers, and that's how you end up with a female main protagonist looking like this. An absolute terrible choice. Now, to make this even worse, and it's
To be fair, the character design isn't even the problem. Everything around this game is. That's the problem. If you have a character design like that, and it's not the less... Let's just go with the following. That character design. But she isn't a lesbian. She's just a woman pretending to be a dude. And her husband and children were unalived by someone. And she's out for revenge. It would work. That would work. That would absolutely work. I can see a game like that working. Absolutely. The problem is not even the character design. The problem is this everything around it.
kind of a self-created problem, as I'll explain. Around this time, Knight's Path, another indie action RPG that is set in a medieval setting, was promoting itself on social media. Now, people are going to naturally compare these games just because they had a similar genre shared between them.
That's normal.
But Knight's Path looks really promising, and the story is much more of that which you would expect from a medieval.
The gameplay looks fine. Planned release date to be announced. Okay, yeah. They aren't done yet.
Setting. And unlike...
Actually, Asmongold took a look at that game. He also liked it. Of course. I mean, he likes dudes with swords and armor. Of course he likes that game.
1348, they are promoting characters, in particular female characters, that are appealing designs. Now, of course, people saw this representation of this female character and were calling it like gooner bait and disgusting and unrealistic and all these things. But of course, people would ask the question, I hope you all have some LGBTQ representation in this game, where the team over at Knight's Path said, we care about gaming and fun, not modern agendas, which
imagine if they had actually time period accurate LGBTQ representation. You can't have that, by the way, because that would be literally ending the lives of those people. Because that's what back then was done. Oh, you are gay? Off with the hat. That's how it was back then. Unless you were rich. Yeah. Or rich and powerful. Those things can keep you alive. Yeah. Just saying.
Scored them a lot of points with your average gamer. It made the activists seethe in rage, where people like this said, glazing the dude bros is never a good idea. They will hype you up on here, but they will never buy your product.
Yes.
Meanwhile, queer people are the ones who make fan art / fanfics, which keep your fandom alive and actually buy and support your products. Such a dumb hill to die on.
Wait. Glazing the dude bros is never a good idea. They will hype you up on here, but they will what? Never buy a product? It's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. The modern audience people hype you up like crazy on social media and then not buy your shit. And with the making fan art, fanfics, you know, aka all the naughty stuff. Yeah, of course the queer people are the people that are doing all that shit. That's all they have. By the way, literally, that's all I have. That's their god. I really need to make my video about the 10 Commandments and the 7 Deadly Sins. Would be awesome.
This post would be 100% on the money if this was opposite day. Everything this person is describing is the modern audience. This is everything that 1348 was pushing for with their game, and they got exactly what they asked for. But this is where 1348X Voto made a gigantic mistake. They decided to directly confront and compare themselves with Knight's Path by saying, don't forget to wishlist and note the release date on your modern agenda. A clear jab at Knight's Path's team, and that is a mistake. Because this game, unlike 1348, is very well liked and very well received.
Yeah.
The trailer of which released around the same.
Look at this. They have a positive like to dislike ratio. And a lot more people watch the trailer. Almost 1 million, almost 700,000 people watched the trailer. 42,000 likes. This game looks like it's going to be successful.
Same time as 1348, and instead of getting dislike bombs, it got 42,000 likes versus 556 dislikes. Yeah, I think we all know who is looking better in the end here.
Absolutely.
Then we fast forward to March 12th, the official release.
Doesn't that look horrible? This is just ugly. Wait, is this? Did they copy? Did they fucking copy the design of the attractive character from the other game? It looks like it.
Date of 1348X Voto. Now we have the question here. Today's the day to see if the modern audience actually supports things made for them, or if it's a big virtue signal.
As always. Good man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know the answer.
Kaida is a good man.
Right now, it's sitting at 387 in-game players.
A successful modern audience game, ladies and gentlemen. With the player base of a village. Literally a village. Literally a village. And I'm not just saying that. That's the size of a village. Would you say that you have awesome success if the population of a small village or a middle-sized village is playing your game? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I have more people living in my street than people playing this game. Literally. Literally. There are buildings that aren't even that big, where you have more people living in them than this game has players. Keep that in mind.
An absolute disaster. And the reviews, by the way, are atrocious. The Steam reviews, the Steam ratings that is, below 50%. Not good. And to address the copium already, see this little flame right here? People see that this game is trending on Steam with the little flame next to it.
Why?
All that means is that it's currently on its 24-hour peak player count.
Oh.
Which of course it's going to have that in the first day
I did not know that the flame means that. It's interesting.
it's released. So that means absolutely nothing. And then you look at the chart here, it's already fallen off. It peaked at 427 players, and it's already starting to decrease.
The game is already dead.
By the hour. It peaked at 427 players. You get exactly what you deserve when you pander to the modern audience. You get the modern audience who does not actually support anything they talk about on social media. Instead, they just virtue signal for attention and brownie points on social media. Now, interestingly, on the release day, the official account for this game came out and said, this day is even more special to us because we have reached 250,000 wish lists.
Do you see that?
I'm going to call foul here. This
that's just a lie. That's just a lie. Wait, can I see? No. Can I see the wish list? Is there any possibility that I can see how many people wishlisted this thing? No. Not that I can tell. Okay. Okay. Man, I wish there was an option.
Seems very hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen. 250,000. They had 100,000.
That's a lie.
About 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago. And based on everything we can see, right? This is
and look at this. 60,000 people has seen this. 2.5 thousand likes. $250,000 wish lists. 64,000 people have seen the announcement that it's out, and 2.5 thousand likes on the post, and they don't even reach 500 players at the same time. This is dead. This is absolutely dead.
Not a number that is shown on Steam. This is private data, so only the developers know the real number. But if you look around, nothing really makes sense because there's only about 12,000 people following this game on Steam in the first place, and yet it has 250,000 wish lists.
And
the
that's
demo
suspicious.
came out and only got about 100 plus players on it, and yet somehow during that time, between the demo and release, it basically doubled or more than doubled its wishlist total. Like, this stuff doesn't make any sense. And how does 250,000 wishlists end up with a peak player count of about 427? That's insane. But the comments are ripping this apart. I'm playing your game for views and not in the good way. You did this to yourself. Now, if only those wishlisters actually bought it. And people just posting memes as well saying High Guard died. So 1348X Voto could fly. Which, by the way, High Guard is officially shut down.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you earned every single...
By the way, funny thing for High Guard, the player base didn't even go up after it was announced that, you know, it would close down. And with all the patches that came out after release, The player base didn't go up at all. You would think some people would jump back in just for the lols to just, you know. Okay. Did they do anything? Did the updates change anything? Oh my god, how cringe is this? No. Not even that happened. Not even that.
One of those sales. When's the next one coming out? Shouldn't bot your wish list, and you shouldn't attack other games. You've lost millions for a modern audience that doesn't play games, and the quotes are not much better. This person's saying, happy modern agenda release day to those who celebrate. Let's see some of those people. Here's someone from the modern audience. Today is Medieval Lesbians Day. Yup. This is the modern audience right here. I'm glad you chose a focus on people like this instead of probably the remaining 99% of potential customers of this game. Here's another modern audience user saying all the haters in the...
Yeah, the thing is, if they would have made that character just a dude, everything would have been fine. Everything would have been fine. Most likely. Unless the game is shit. If the game is shit, then it wouldn't have changed anything. Well, they might have sold more copies, but the player base would have gone down drastically anyways. Very quick.
Applies. Watch me hit 400 hours on this quote-unquote woke game. Well, best of luck to you. I hope to see you as the one remaining player on SteamDB in about a month when this game is probably getting ready to shut down. You have Smash JT saying really excited.
It's a single player game, so it won't shut down. That's the only thing this game is going for it. It won't shut down.
Excited about the content we'll be able to make out of this. Exactly. There's nothing more worth your time in scenarios like this than making content out of crappy games like this that appeal to the modern audience.
And we like to do it.
250,000 Steam wishlist for 1348X Voto. And a peak on launch day so far 407 players. Your vapid passive-aggressive attack on Knight's Path did nothing but earn you virtue points with people who don't buy video games. Congratulations, you reap what
I
you
like
sow.
this.
I said there was also the Metacritic ratings. And they're
53.
also abysmal. A total average of 53, which is pretty shocking for this game that was trying to check all of the...
Not even the games journalists like this. Not even these people give it good ratings.
Progressive boxes. Even Games Radar, one of the higher ratings at 60, says it starts with a wealth of potential and unfortunately manages to squander it at every turn, creating a hollow, rage-inducing, and disappointing experience, with its beautiful depiction of Italy and talented performers being its only saving graces.
So the gameplay sucks. The gameplay sucks. And it most likely also has technical issues. Okay. So even if this game wasn't a modern audience lesbian game, if it was a dude trying to save his girlfriend, wife, whatever, the game would still be bad because it's shit. It's just shit. Good to know.
Tech Radar Gaming with a 60. 55 from multiplayer.it saying quotation forthcoming. Can't wait for that. IGN Italia with a 50. Game Reactor UK with a 50. And even The Gamer with a 50. If The Gamer is giving you a 50 after literally making fluff pieces about this game and how stunning and brave it was, you know you really messed up. Now, hopefully users like this will show up for...
So what I've seen is that even the story is shit. Not enough time is spent with characters to sympathize with the plight, while the narrative itself discordantly jumps between several themes without committing to a singular vision. So the storytelling is also shit. It's not helped by a middling combat system and exploration that is too simplistic and predictable for its own good. Yeah, gameplay is shit. As a queer woman, of course, I'm delighted that games like this exist, but I can't bring myself to ignore the fatal flaws that hold this passionate effort back from greatness. So, even the modern audience doesn't like this game because it's shit. Okay, gotcha.
You know you really messed up. Now, hopefully users like this will show up for 1348X Voto. I had to share this because it's some cope about Marathon that can be applied to many different games that we talk about. This person said, people will spend $40 to DoorDash some food 1 mile away from them, but making the decision to buy a $40 game that people spent years making is fun and corporations put millions of dollars into is too much. It doesn't make sense to me. Also, before people jump me, I constantly see this narrative that Marathon isn't worth $40, which is just illogical, as most people, especially in the United States, waste money constantly.
Yeah, this is a stupid person that thinks they are smart. If people say Marathon is not worth $40, they say it's not worth for them to spend the $40. It's that simple. It's that simple. It really is. If you don't like an entertainment product, if you think, yeah, it's not worth the money, then that's it. I mean, that's... We are talking here about a question of taste. And a question of taste, the customer is always right. That's why saying that $40 is too much for Marathon is absolutely valid. Yes. If people would say $40 is too much for Arc Raiders because it's not a game for them. Yeah, absolutely. It's not worth the money if you don't like it. Of course not. It's an entertainment product meant to entertain you. It's not something you need to survive. It's that simple. And about the wasting money thing, well, yes, that not spending $40 on a game that you don't want is for... Yes, you don't waste the $40. Why would you? This person is completely retarded.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the consumer who just says, shut up and consume. Consume the slop. Spend $40 on it. I mean, of course, the studio spent a lot of time making it, and corporations put millions of dollars into it. You have to buy it because you spend money on other frivolous things. That is one of the weakest arguments I've ever seen. Like, literally, why are you running defense for these massive corporations? Just because they spent a lot of time and money making it means you're, I guess, emotionally captured and you have to spend $40 on a game like Marathon or money on a game like 1348X Voto. Like, this is absolutely cooked. And yes, someone spending money on frivolous things does not require them to spend it on other frivolous things.
Exactly.
Like Marathon, for example. That is illogical. But here's a good summation of everything we've been talking about today with 1348X Voto. So, the Lesbian Knight medieval action combat game 1348X Voto launched today with only around 400 players. Did anyone expect any different?
No.
Ugly characters, terrible combat, janky combat, or terrible story, janky combat, horrible animation, full-on modern agenda, probably one of the worst games to release this year, and it's dead on arrival. Yes, that face is supposed to be the face of a woman. As usual, the modern audience didn't show up to play the game. A very good summary, but do you know who's going to have an audience?
Oh, yes.
Knight's Path, who just crossed, by the way, 300,000 wish lists on Steam. And given the much larger level of support for their trailer, I believe this number of wish lists, and I think this game is going to do really well because it is not pandering to a modern audience or modern...
And that's the thing. The moment someone is pandering to something, and historically, we know that shit didn't work out, and they come up with, oh yeah, 100,000 wishlists. Oh yeah, 250,000 wishlists. You know something fishy is going on, especially when they have already a demo out and no one is playing it. You know something is wrong there. And also I can believe that because I have seen the like to dislike ratio and the views of the trailer. The viewer number. 300,000 wishlists? That's about half the views they have on their trailer on YouTube. So that's why I can believe this.
Agenda, it is trying to give a good experience for what the vast majority of gamers actually want for a game set in a medieval setting. I think this game is going to do really well, and once again will prove all the activists on social media wrong for the millionth time. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
For over 20 years, Steam has been the...
Stop it. Good video. Good video. Like always, I think I've never seen a video of him not being good.